please indicate in the chat box. Hi, everyone. Oh, I see some messages in the chat. Oh, fantastic. Oh, we have a lot of people around today. I'm happy to see that. We have Blessed from Zimbabwe. You're welcome. I see Noah from Nigeria. You're welcome. Theophilus from Zimbabwe as well. Wow, I see someone else from Botswana. Lovely. Lovely to meet everyone. Good morning once again, and a welcome from me to you all. And we are happy that you are joining us from across the continent and beyond. My name is Laura, and I'm excited to be your host for today's webinar, Data Protection in Practice, and is proudly brought to you by the Data Protection Officer Africa Network, that is the DPO Africa Network. And today's session is going to be fantastic. It promises to, be more than what was the word now? When you pay for value, yes, it's going to be more than, and this is a free webinar, so this is going to be more than what the value that you had in mind. We have a lot of interesting and value-laden panel sessions for you today. And this session is going to be bridging the gap between data protection in theory and the real world application. So whether you are a seasoned data protection officer, a legal or compliance professional, or you're just starting out in this space, our goal today is to share practical insights with you that you can actually use. It's not just about policies, but you can use them in your everyday operation. So we have a lot to explore today, and so sit tight so you don't miss out on anything. And we are also thrilled to be joined by a panel of experienced DPOs and privacy professionals across the world who will be sharing their on the ground perspective. And so quickly before we dive in, I have a few notes for us to take down. This session is recorded, and so it will be shared with all registered participants after the webinar. You can also use, excuse me, you can also use the Q&A box for any questions you have, and we'll have time for discussion toward the end. And feel free to introduce yourself. I see that some people have initiative to do that. And we want to know where you're joining from. You can share your LinkedIn URL as well so that we can connect. At the end of the day, it is very, very important that we connect with each other here. This is what networking is about. So thank you all for being here today and for being part of this growing movement to strengthen data protection across Africa. And so let us get started immediately. So before we move forward with today's session, I would like to take a few minutes to share something that is very, very close to our heart here at the DPO Africa Network, and that is our outreach strategy. So at the core of what we do here, we do have a simple belief, and it's that the more perspective we bring in, the stronger and more relevant our solutions become. And so if you ask yourself, where do I fall in this announcement? There's something you can do for us, which is, you could join us. And another important thing is that every one of you here has a voice, a circle and a platform. And by sharing what we are building here, you're not just amplifying the network, you are also helping us shape privacy practice across the continent. So here are simple things you can do for us. So you don't have to wait until after the event. Just now you can do it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel where we post fantastic stuff, right? And you have it at your disposal, at your convenience. So we create a lot of video resources that explain and demystify data protection and compliance for Africa. And today in this session, our goal is to reach 150 subscribers. Little beginnings, but we'll get there when we are going to have exclusive subscription where you have to pay to join us. So now that it is free, Do not miss up on that. So just quickly go on YouTube and search for DPO Africa Network. DPO Africa Network, and that is our YouTube channel. You can join us there. You follow us on our YouTube. You can also join our WhatsApp group. We also have a WhatsApp group, where a WhatsApp channel, pardon me, where we also, we keep you updated on webinars, events, a lot of all other interesting packages. You can get them quickly on our WhatsApp channel. So the link is going to also be posted here in the chat, and just click on it. That's just like one click. You will just click on it and you'll be added to our WhatsApp channel. And lastly, follow our Medium blog. We, for those of you who prefer, written thought pieces and practical analysis, our Medium space is where we unpack the big issues shaping privacy in Africa, and you can subscribe for that as well. The link to our Medium blog is also posted in the chat section. Please just a click away, click on it, and we'll direct you there immediately. So that's it about our outreach piece. But you can also tell us what's happening inside the network, because this is where the magic happens. So you can join the network as well. So every last Monday of the month, so don't get it twisted, last Monday, we gather as a community, we connect, we brainstorm, we create solutions to Africa's most pressing privacy, compliance challenges. And it's not theory, once again, it's practice. So this is not, you're not reading for an exam, you are reading to apply. So what we do every last Monday of the month, it's a collaboration, not a lecture. We collaborate, we come together. So if you haven't joined us at the network, you are really, really missing out. So I strongly encourage you to do so. And the registration, pardon me, for the last Monday of the month meeting is also in the chat box. So here is the things I said earlier. Follow us on YouTube at DPO Network Africa. Join our WhatsApp channel. Follow our Medium blog, and then join the network itself. Help us widen the circle. Share these platforms as well with your colleagues, your friends, or people who are interested, right? So subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we already have some things that we posted there, so be the first to enjoy it. So um every new voice, that is your voice, adds value to what we do here. It adds perspective, and every perspective helps us do things better. We are better and we are stronger together, and our goal is for a more African centered privacy preserving practices. And so we are glad that you are here with us today, and we know that this would not just be a one-off thing. You would subscribe and follow us, and we'll collaborate as time goes on. So once again, I welcome every one of us here, and I'm very, very excited for today, because I know that the network has packed something powerful for everyone. So I'm going to call on Maureen quickly. Maureen is going to take us through the panel session. Maureen is a High Court advocate at the High Court in Kenya, and she's going to bring us on board with the panel session. Get your jotters and your pencils or your pen, because you will have a lot to write and you do not want to forget it. So everyone, let us give Maureen a warm welcome. Welcome, Maureen.
Thank you, Laura, for the warm introduction. So my name is Maureen Wakeita, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we build stronger alliances for privacy and trust across Africa. I'm delighted to be your moderator for today's conversation. So I welcome you all again to a vibrant conversation with some of Africa's leading data privacy advocates and association leaders. And today we are going to explore how community driven efforts, training, and collaboration are shaping the future of privacy leadership. So, our goal today is simply to inspire current and aspiring data protection officers by sharing real world journeys and listening to our panelists, um, and connecting everything back to the vision and the values of DPO Africa Network. So we're going to begin with our speakers. So today we have a lineup of incredible panelists who are driving change across Africa. And I'm really excited to hear their insights, their experiences, and the stories behind their journey. So for each panelist, please feel free to introduce yourself, share a brief overview of your role and a challenge you've faced in the privacy space and how you've been able to mitigate it. So our first panelist for the day is Solomon. Solomon is the founder of Privacy Hub Africa. So welcome, Solomon.
Thank you, Maureen. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope
Good
you can
afternoon.
hear me. Please.
Yes, we can.
Please. Okay, thank you. My name is Solomon Mwabweze, and I'm a Pan African tech lawyer and social entrepreneur. I serve as the executive director of Privacy of Africa, PHA. PHA is a non-profit organization that is dedicated to advancing privacy and data protection in Africa through education, awareness, and advocacy. At the heart of what we do at PHA is democratizing knowledge in the African digital governance space. Um, the challenge, you say a surprising challenge. I don't know whether it's surprising, but the challenge I've faced as a professional in the um, privacy sector has been financial constraints. You would understand with me that it takes a lot financially to actually upscale in the space in terms of training and certifications. Personally, I've spent over 3 million naira on certifications just this year, the IAPP certification. So it has been a lot. And the way around it for me personally has been I don't allow any form of limitations to stop me, be it financial or whatever. I just try to make do with the resources I have and just don't allow it to stop me at all. So that's basically that. Thank you, Maury.
Thank you, Solomon. Our next panelist is Dr. Patricia, who is the chairperson of the Tanzania Privacy Professionals Association. Welcome, Dr. Patricia.
Hi, Maureen. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. Uh, yeah, I guess some other places is morning or evening, but for me it's afternoon. Yeah, it's such a privilege to be part of this afternoon. My name is Patricia Bosche, as Maureen identified me. I'm a current chairperson of the Privacy Professional Association of Tanzania, the first chairperson since its establishment. We've been operating, this is the third year since we started, going fourth year since we started. And I believe most of you have seen our postings, have seen our interactions in social media, especially LinkedIn. We are really happy to be in the space and contribute to what data protection is bringing on the continent, because it's been a journey when it comes to data protection, its implementation, capacity building, understanding what data protection is and what is required to do to protect individually and the community at large. But we are seeing a lot of development in which we are very happy. And part of being the chairperson of TPPA is also being in webinars like this to continue the work. And so I'd like to say thank you very much for being here, and looking forward to a fruitful discussion, to learning and to supporting each other. Back to you, Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe just a question. Since you've mentioned you're the first chairperson, What challenge have you encountered?
Well, I'm a woman, so there are a lot of challenges that comes with this skirt. Um, Data protection sphere is in the beginning was sort of occupied with a lot of male population, and we've seen changes when it recently years with female data protection commissioners and things like that. But in the beginning, it was really a challenge. But in terms of practice, in terms of learning, one of the main challenges we are experiencing is an organization that supports data protection is navigating geopolitical issues even within our local premises. So you find that you have objectives of supporting community capacity building. You want, or you wish to support um, organizations and institutions, and knowing that data protection is still a very immature or a very young profession. A lot of industry, a lot of um, institutions are still learning how to navigate data protection and privacy, and it becomes very difficult to be able to support both private and public institutions, because you may want to reach to, let's say, public institutions, but there are limitations into dealing with public institutions. But at the same time, you may see that those public institutions are, communicating things that are not sort of completely correct when it comes to data protection, but you cannot challenge those things because those are, those in power cannot be challenged in an African context cannot be challenged easily, especially if you're coming from an association that is validated by its members, an association that has no public power. It's a private association. But in terms of capacity, we see there's a lot of challenge in terms of imparting capacity. For example, in Tanzania is a big country. To be able to provide education to everybody in their demographic position, in their understanding, because there are also 128 languages, and some people don't speak English, and also some people don't speak Swahili, which is the national language. It becomes very difficult to be able to provide equally private education to all the population in Tanzania, but it's something that we are working on. Maybe shortly, that's the main challenge: be able to navigate our objectives of supporting the community to understand their rights and duties, but at the same time to support organizations in understanding their obligations without stepping into other people's toes. That's the main challenge that we are facing.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next panelist is Innocent, who is the president of the Privacy Professionals Association of Zimbabwe. Innocent?
Thank you very much, Maureen, and welcome to everyone who has joined us from wherever you are joining us from. So my name is Innocent Chingarandi. I'm a director of operations within the data protection DPO Africa Network, and I'm also the founding chairperson and the president of the Privacy Practitioners Association of Zimbabwe. I'm also a full-time attorney of the High Court of Zimbabwe, and I come wearing the hat of a privacy practitioner to this forum today.
Thank you. So, do you mind letting us know a challenge you faced, that you actually hold various positions, and how you've tackled it?
Well, one of the greatest challenges, I'll just say the main challenges, maybe because I might not exhaust all the challenges, but one of the challenges that we face from an association perspective is that of lack of awareness. Despite the fact that there have been several awareness programs which have been uh, done or conducted by our Data Protection Authority, we still have a challenge that you still have somebody even in the city center where this thing started, asking you about Data Protection Act, yet they're supposed to be at various stages of compliance. So that being said, awareness is still one of the challenges. But most importantly, I think funding is a challenge, not just for the association, but for many the data controllers, in the sense that, in this point is also linked closely to the issue of awareness. You find that data controllers comply not because they are aware or they are fully aware of the extent of the importance of compliance or complying with data protection, but they do so for the fear of suffering consequences which comes with non-compliance. So that makes compliance a very a challenging job, in the sense that you don't have the buy-in from those people who are responsible for making the decisions, either to fund private programs or to conduct awareness, internal awareness, among other things. But yeah, I think I'll end here so that we asked you in time.
Thank you so much. So our last speaker for the day is Precious, who serves as the team lead at TechHive. Precious?
Yes, hello. Good day, everyone. Hello, Maureen. Hello, everyone. My name is
Hello.
Fred Mwadike. I'm from Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be part of this conversation. Thank you for having me. So, I work with TechHive Advisory, as you had mentioned, and we operate uniquely at the intersection between law, business, and technology, providing specialized regulatory intelligence and advisory services across for organizations across Africa and the Middle East. So basically our role is to support organizations in navigating the complexities of evolving regulatory environments. I mean, like they say, law lags behind society, right? And technology is fast moving, which means that the regulatory environment is changing rapidly, right? So that is basically what we do. We help businesses not only to comply with relevant laws and regulation, but also anticipate changes that might impact their operation, right? Enabling them to maintain both regulatory compliance and commercial growth. So I will just leave it at that. So for a challenge, okay, so because I work with an organization and basically we support DPOs, our clients' DPOs, or it's either that or we're offering DPO as a service to organizations. And one unique challenge that I have seen is that of getting collaboration from other business units within the organization. And the reason this is a challenge is because they have their bottom lines to meet, they have their jobs to do. And now the privacy team is saying, we need you to do this. We have a privacy program, and these are their action points for these other departments to do. And it's like an added burden an added burden on what they already have, right? So that's a challenge. And one way that we address it is to continuous engagement, awareness, and to just get their buy-in. So what that means is to make them see how ensuring privacy or data protection impacts their own job, right? So be it conducting a DPIA and whatnot, right? They see how this affects what they do. So yes, I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So thank you all for our panelists. Thank you for the introductions. It's inspiring to hear your journeys, challenges, and how far you've come. So now we can delve into the questions. And our first question is addressed to Solomon. So Solomon, you've mentioned you're the founder of Privacy Hub Africa. Kindly share with us your journey, how you started to get to where you are now.
Okay, thank you, Maureen.
Hi, Solomon. I'm sorry to intercept. I just wanted to say that your cameras are not turned on in case you feel they were turned on, but we can't see you.
I know that my camera is not on, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So I hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, we can.
Please confirm you can hear me. Okay, thank you. Um, the story of Privacy Hub Africa. I will first of all start. I will start with my own personal story, my own personal privacy story. So in 2020, I was in a law firm, where I was charged with the responsibility of leading the firm's editorial newsletter editorial team. So part of this responsibility was creating topics, particularly in emerging areas such as fintech, blockchain, and privacy and data protection for the our staff members to write on. So that was the first time I actually knew about privacy. I don't know whether that's surprising or something, but that was the first time throughout my years in school, and even I think I've practiced like 2 years before then. I didn't know about data protection and about privacy. It was that period, that 2020, I got to know about data protection and privacy as a practice area. So in the period, I had to co-author some articles on the topic, on the subject areas of data protection and privacy for the firm. Then in 2021, University of Lagos made a call for applications for their certificate training program on data protection that was funded by the then Facebook. So I kind of encouraged my colleague at work that we should apply for this program, that it's interesting and is in an area that we've written before. Let's just apply for it. We applied for the program, but unfortunately, the day the program was supposed to start, we didn't hear from University of Lagos. So I just told my colleague Muiz that we have to just go, since they did not reach out to us whether they accepted our application or they did not accept. That silence from them should actually be interpreted as acceptance. We should just go to the University of Lagos, to the venue. So we went to the venue, and a little bit of back and forth, but we later got accepted right there in the field, like in the venue, we were accepted, and that was how we had to participate. It was a 6-week training program, and we were issued a certificate at the end of the day, and that was how I was officially inducted into the privacy and data protection specialization. And I would say at this point that privacy did not choose me; I chose privacy. So when I entered into the space, I realized that there was no or low awareness in the space, and that the talent pipeline in Africa, in particular, in private sector in Africa, was almost empty, and that organizations did not even kind of appreciate what data protection and privacy meant, let alone understand their kind of compliance obligations. So let me just bring this into a kind of clearer perspective. I'm going to jump the story small. Like in 2021, 2022, sorry, 2022, we went to Abuja. I went to Abuja with someone from my team to make sure that we can kind of incorporate Privacy of Africa with CAC. When we had some some rejections from them, we went there to explain to them this is what we are doing and this is what data protection was about. These people did not even understand what privacy was, and we tried so much to explain to them, and they were saying that privacy was like a kind of secret court. Are we a secret court or something? We should look for another name. So they did not even know what privacy was. We tried so much to explain to them, they did not understand anything. So what I now did was I set out to close this huge awareness gap in the space, and to create a platform where people can come together, learn, collaborate, and build together. And that was how Privacy of Africa was formed. Thank you.
Thank you, Solomon, for the detailed journey. So you've mentioned that one of the reasons was for people to collaborate. So from your perspective, why is community building so critical, and how does Privacy Hub Africa embody people-led privacy leadership in Africa?
Okay, thank you. I would say that community building is essential because privacy is not just a legal requirement, as we see it. It's a public good. In Africa, laws sometimes arrive late. Someone else has mentioned it before. So laws sometimes, most of the time, it plays catch-up game, and communities would can help us create a culture of privacy, that consciousness, and which is what Privacy of Africa has been trying to do for a couple of years now. Create that privacy consciousness in the people and help people hold institutions accountable even before these laws arrive. So I believe that community building is about creating spaces where people can come together, where people can actually feel the ownership, they feel ownership of a cause. And you have to just give the people this sense of ownership. And at PHA, we don't just see people as volunteers or community members. We see them as co-builders in the space. So that's how we model people. Like we see people as co-builders in the space, not just as community members or volunteers in the space or in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Solomon. I think one insightful thing I've learned from you is fortune favors the brave, and your journey shows how you really have to push and get there. So thank you. So going on to Dr. Patricia, Solomon has mentioned that laws sort of play catch-up game. So in your experience across policy and advocacy, what advice would you give to those people operating without formal structures?
Well, as someone says, law is always playing a catch up, especially at this moment where we have innovation, we have AI, we have all these technology coming up, which we first have to understand and then regulate. And so, for people operating from an informal sector, what I will advise is that it's always important to protect your business. First of all, know what is there at stake. What do you have at stake? Because what I have in stake in my business could be totally different from what you have in stake. First of all, identify what is in stake in terms of data protection or security. After you know that this is what is in stake that can affect my business, that can affect my operations, then try to understand what is the current law or regulatory framework that can support me to protect my business, to protect my processes. And when there is no such regulation, or let's say the regulation is outdated as compared to innovation or technology, there's always a gray area where you can find sort of a strike alignment between law and technology, how you can protect your business and processes. And so I would say people should be more proactive in what they're doing, in what the business are concerned, and especially when it comes to protection of personal information. At the same time, I'll also urge people to engage with communities, with organizations that are taking up data protection, are taking up security initiatives to support their communities in one way or the other, so that they can be able, in case of doubt, in case of challenges, in case of concern, be able to consult. I believe in every community there are those organizations that are there, that are working in the space, that are supporting government and community organizations to understand the landscape, to understand what is at stake, to understand the duties and the rights what people have. And so people should not fear or should not shy to approach those people and organizations to seek clarity where clarity is, where there's blur, and to be able to understand what is there, what is needed, what is coming, and how to cover or to umbrella yourself from whatever is coming, so that you are assured. Because to be able to, many business requires trust for you to conduct your business. And so to be able to maintain that trust, you have to be proactive enough to understand what is coming and how you can protect your business and processes. And so in long run, you also create that trust that your customers or people you are working with, and that will also support your business in the long run. So proactivity, continuous learning, collaboration, networking, and reaching out to your colleagues, community organizations that are in space is really important at the moment.
Thank you so much. So, how has the Professionals Association in Tanzania contributed to privacy law in Africa? Maybe in just a summary.
Okay. In summary, we are providing, if you, I believe you can see also in our social medias channels, we are providing short, precise, but very simple publications that anybody in the community can understand, so that they can bring that awareness on how to protect their personal information and the personal information of the others that are working with. But we have worked with, and we are collaborating, for example, with Personal Data Protection Commission of Tanzania. We exchange, opinions when, for example, the other time the ministry published certain regulations on cost and everything. We offer our opinion and recommendation. We reach out to the commissioner and provide our opinion on the regulations and whether or not we think they fit the community. But at the community level, we are also working with other organizations to see what is the gap and what is needed, so that we can be able to provide without requiring so much fund, because this is a non-profit organization, and so we do not have funds to do big things. So we do what we can with what we have. We also collaborate with other privacy organization associations. For example, we have a very strong connection with the Privacy Association of Kenya. We have been doing things. We have been doing webinars to bring social and public awareness. And we continue to look for collaboration with other organizations. For example, in Tanzania, also we have a relationship with Tanganyika Law Association, the association for lawyers. And we've been providing our volunteers to offer CLE seminars in terms of data protection. We are also in the process of making an MOU with East African Law Society. And so we are doing what we can, or what we feel it's important, in terms of creating collaborations and in terms of publications, to be able to see how we can work within our local boundaries to support capacity buildings and to work with organizations that are there to support implementation and protection of personal information. But at the same time, to find out and to who else is there in the region and how best we can collaborate with them to advance our objectives together. So that is what we are doing at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your journey. Maybe in a line or two, a sentence or two, you can let us know what motivates your mix of in academia, policy, advocacy.
Well, I realized, because I've been in academia for more than 20 years. And then I've also had a taste of doing some policy analysis and policy development. And then I realized that being in academia, you can do a lot of research, you can have a lot of understanding of things, but those things, if not put in practice, will bring no change. And so for me, I saw there's a need to gap the two, research and policy development. And that's my motivation. And so for that reason, I've been working not just as a researcher, but also I work with organizations that support the development of certain frameworks within Africa and Europe, to see how best those researches and results can be translated into policy and eventually implemented within certain localities and certain contexts. So my motivation is basically to see research being translated into action.
Thank you, Sana Daktari. So, coming to you, Innocent, since you've been part of building associations from the ground, so how do you see these networks addressing the challenges that have been so far mentioned by Solomon and Dr. Patricia?
Thank you very much. So this network is very, very important as far as the work or privacy in Africa is concerned. Why do I say so? It assumes that for privacy to be more effective, you need serious collaboration among every player, including country on country. Remember, we also, when you want to do cross-border transfer, you do an adequacy test. So that then assumes that you have to know the laws and regulations of the country to which you are importing or exporting data to. So DPO Africa Network comes in to fill the gap whereby, in case you need information on the privacy landscape of Kenya. I remember we've done a bit of some work as far as trying to itemize and also to list and provide resources about country to country in Africa. So DPO of Africa Network comes in to fill that gap that is critical as far as uh, collaboration is concerned. And also, maybe just to add on, you find that, for example, in our country, the area of privacy is still very, very new. So a lot of things we have to learn from other people. So we are obliged to the founding director of DPO Africa, Ms. Amaka Ibeji, for this great initiative, because it has helped us to develop and also to learn from the most experienced and also from the best, as we also develop and adopt some of those things that we learn from from the international stage, and localize such in our own countries and areas of practice.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Innocent. Just as a follow up, so since you've been a founding member of the DP Africa Network, you're also a founder of the Privacy Professional Association of Zimbabwe. So, what has been your experiencing in building these organizations?
But the experience has been one that is good. Maybe I will just give you a background, a bit of a background of about myself and how I also came into this private space. So, as a legal practitioner, I had a client, an international client, who came and sought an opinion about our own local legislation. So I gave an opinion, and then they went to the extent of setting up a meeting with their own international DPOs who came to Zimbabwe. So that's when I then realized that there's this area that there's this gap as far as practice areas are concerned. So I then said, this is what I want to do after some further research on the area. And fortunately, in trying to address some of the issues, I had to approach our own DP, Data Protection Authority. By then, it had not yet been empowered, but there was still talk about them getting the power. Because what happened is that we got the act before we got the regulations. So the act came in 2021, but it was only operationalized when the regulations came into effect last year. So that was as early as 2021. So I was then advised that, okay, by the DPIA, by the people at the DPA, that they were going to come up with the certification course. And if I was interested, then I could join. I could one of the uh, uh, I could take part in this course. So I'm happy to say that I was in the first or the inaugural uh, data protection certification course in Zimbabwe. And I then just started changing my practice, just then led towards privacy. And it so happened that I also had other big corporates. So it's something that I then started talking to them about. So the journey has been good. In terms of the finance, I think it has been rewarding as well. And also in terms of experience, is something that has been very, very fantastic, in the sense that you get to lay and interpret the law And you find that sometimes you go to court with a question and then the court agrees with you. Is something that is so rewarding, I should say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations for being among the first. So, in summary or briefly, can you share how the DPO Africa Network's training has supported your own journey?
All right. Yeah, like I said, we are still new in this. I think we will be this month. In fact, is I think it's our first anniversary because the regulations came into effect on the 12th of September 2024. So effectively, it's our first year as data protection officers, especially for most in Zimbabwe in terms of our own local legislation. So, sorry if you can just bear with me. Sorry for that. So, in terms of how DPO Africa is enabled and enriched my journey, since everything is new, especially if you the first course, I think that was the Data Protection Foundational course, you get to know practically what you were taught at the certification, because you then find out that the certification course was it's very good, but it's something that was very, very compressed. But at DPO Africa, in the foundational courses, in among other courses that we've done, you then get to learn exactly how to do certain things. Like, for example, we talk of a data protection impact assessment. You get to know what it is in more detail, how to apply, and you also get to ask practical questions that you'll be facing or challenges that you'll be facing as you be going, or maybe just to ask other questions that you anticipate. Because remember, our legislation being new, most of the other provisions are still a bit broad, and some of them perhaps are controversial, but you'll find that if you bring an issue, especially in the classes, is something that will be able to be addressed almost instantaneously. So that is something that is very good. And from an association perspective, every now and then we get to be asked about templates. People will be asking for templates. And at DPO Africa, you also find that they teach people how to do they give out templates freely and show you the practical side of doing things. So I must say that uh, it's very useful to become a member of the DPO Africa Network.
Thank you. I second that. So maybe later you can let us know when we'll have the next DP Africa training, and you can attend. So to Precious, so working at TechHive, what is the significance of regulatory intelligence in today's privacy landscape?
Okay, thank you very much again. So I want to say this first before I answer the question. I'm having a technical issue. My video is on, but I don't know. You can't see my face, so I really, really apologize for that. Okay, so to the question. So, like I had mentioned earlier, when I was introducing myself and briefly talking about what we do at Tech, I mentioned that, and which is something Dr. Brochure also highlighted, that law lags behind society, law regulation lags behind society. And this is the significance of in one sentence, this is the significance of regulatory intelligence in the privacy landscape. And also because, I mean, we've all been listening, and one thing I picked, which is something, of course, we already know, is that in Africa, data protection and privacy is very nascent. So there are countries where they don't yet have a data protection law, or recently just had a data protection law. Like in Nigeria, we've had a regulation for a bit, but the Nigerian Data Protection Act just came in 2023. Yes, right. So it's pretty new. So it's a nascent area. and which means that regulations will be changing, things will be coming up, and it's important that when they do, that organizations are ready to ensure or position themselves or their operations in a way that they comply with what is coming ahead, right? So that's the significance of regulatory intelligence in the privacy landscape. Another thing we've noticed in our work is that globally, because globally the global north have moved on, they're on a different level in terms of data protection and privacy, right? It's interesting that most tools, data protection tools that would help or facilitate the work that DPOs do within their organization are tailored towards the GDPR, right? They are tailored towards the GDPR. So what we are doing at TechHive is to build a tool that is that is that is African centric, that addresses the specific issues or specific provisions that are prevalent in data protection laws in Africa. So, for example, in the GDPR, we know what the GDPR has defined as who a data subject is. But in certain laws in Africa, a data subject also includes a juristic person, right? So it's important that we reflect that in our templates and how we ensure compliance, in how we build tools, right, that would help African. So that's what we are doing. It's the data Ulinzi. It's still in its formative stage, but I just thought to mention that. So yes, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Maybe one last question. So there's
Okay.
a survey by DPO Africa that shows cost concerns around training and certifications, and I believe Solomon also mentioned the same, that it's very expensive to get some of these certifications. So how does TechHive assist to make these credentials more accessible to DPOs or incoming DPOs?
Okay, yes, that's a challenge actually. So what we do at TechHive, so TechHive Advisory is a Pan-African organization. So everything we do is Africa focused. Now, so what we have done, we have noticed that the globally recognized data protection certification are quite pricey, to be honest, particularly for people within this region, right? So what we have done is that we partner with the IAPP to subsidize the cost of getting this training. So if you go to the IAPP's website and you want to get the IAPP training directly from the IAPP, it's quite expensive. So exam alone will cost you, just to get just the exam voucher will cost you around 550 or $799, depending on the exam you're writing, whether the CIPPE, CIPM, AIGP, depending, right? And this is excluding membership fee and excluding training. So what we have done is our partnership with the IAPP has sort of subsidized that compared to what you would pay if you go directly to the IAPP, what we offer is way lesser. And this is something that has helped data protection practitioners within the continent to jump on the opportunity and get certified. However, I would just want to mention this. I'm looking forward to us as a continent having a globally recognized certification that is African centric. Because if you look at the IAPP certification, we have the CIPPE Europe, we have for US, we have for Canada, right? We have for Asia, right? There is nothing for Africa. So it's important that, although I see that as a trend that would occur in the near future, that we would have something that specifically addresses the nuances in data protection laws in Africa. So, yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So before we conclude, I'd like each of our panelists to give us just a word of encouragement as we are to the aspiring DPOs like us. So to know what to expect and what's next in data protection. So I'll begin with Solomon.
Okay, thank you, Maureen. I would try as much as possible to be simple. I My advice for DPOs in Africa is to join a community today. And when you join one, don't be invisible in the community. Try as much as possible to be useful to your community and always aspire to create a change in the space you find yourself because you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patricia.
I think I want to overemphasize what Solomon says, because once to operate in this space, you need to have sort of backup. You need to have people you can rely on. You can never know everything in data protection, and it will come a time where you're qualified, you're sufficient, but there will come a time you have a problem or a challenge that you by yourself you're unable to address. But if you have a network that is going to support you. So you cannot operate as an island in data protection sphere. So have your people, have your network, have your speed dials when it comes to data protection if you want to be a sufficient practitioner in the area. That's it from me.
Thank you so much. Next, Innocent.
Thank you very much, Maureen. I the problem of being the last person is that everything would have been spoken about. But just to maybe to put things into perspective, so the courses that are offered at DPO Africa are all available on network, and you can replay all the sessions that were played. And obviously, we'll definitely advise of our next sessions very soon. But to DPO Africa, to all the DPOs out there, I think to all those that are currently practicing as DPOs, you made the right decision. And there's this talk that uh, technology is here to take our jobs, but I can tell you that with privacy and cybersecurity, you never go wrong because we are leading the industries across the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And all the
Innocent.
thanks.
Pardon?
I said all the best to every DPO who is joining us live now.
Thank you. Thank you. Lastly, over to you, Precious.
Hello. So I'm just going to be adding to what everyone has said. I agree completely with the points that Solomon and Dr. Boshe has mentioned about having a community and being visible. And to add to that, I will say embrace continuous learning and adaptability. And why do I say that? The space is changing, things are moving fast. AI, now we have AI. So it's important that you ensure that while you are enabling your organization, whatever organization you're working with, to ensure data protection compliance, that you have your ears on the ground, right? And you know what is changing in the space, what regulations are coming out, how will this regulation impact your business? What do I need to learn to be able to better infuse this into our compliance journey? So basically, continuous learning and adaptability. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you all. We're very grateful for having you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your insights. And to all our participants for today, thank you for joining us. And on behalf of DPO Africa Network, we reaffirm our commitment to providing practical, affordable, and community driven support. As you've heard, there are courses that are being offered and they're very, very affordable. So we encourage everyone to stay connected. Please share with us your LinkedIn profiles in the chats and we can connect. So Thank you. My name is Morino Geita once again, and I've enjoyed being your moderator for today. So I'll hand over the session back to Laura.
Thank you, Maureen. And thank you to our distinguished panelists. This was fantastic. And for everyone who has been listening, I hope we're jotting things down because, for what Solomon said it, Patricia said it, and, they said the same thing: join a community, have your people, and have your network. Precious said something so important. And to be honest, I've thought about it before, and she said we have CIPPE, we have for US, we have for Asia, we don't have for Africa. And so in the near future, it will be conversation that would be louder, and you want to be among the first people who are going to get that certification. And you should know that if that happens, because it will, or rather when it happens, DPO Africa will not be behind. We will not be behind. So this is your chance to come on board. So here is a fantastic community for you to join already. You already have your people here and you have your network. So like I mentioned earlier in the beginning, we have our outreach strategy here at the network, and it is open to, everyone who is on this call right now. Here is your chance. We have our YouTube channel. Like I said, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is where you find your people with minds, and that's what we do here, and it's free, right? So we have video resources that explain and demystify data protection in Africa, and our goal is to support one another, like I said. So take a moment to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link to our YouTube channel is in the chat box, and it will be posted again for people who joined later, who didn't see the first time. So it will be posted again in the chat box. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we have our WhatsApp channel as well. You can join our WhatsApp channel. It's so fast. That's the easiest thing. So it's not like a group chat where people are sending a lot of messages, right? So it's just for you to see our events and everything that we do in quick time. So you just get it quickly. Join the link. The WhatsApp channel link is also in the chat box for you to see. And lastly, follow our medium. I already mentioned it earlier that if you prefer written thought pieces, I prefer written thought pieces and practical analysis. Our medium space is where we unpack the big issues, okay? You can read it at your convenience on your way to work or while you're at work, or you just need to check something quickly. It's a huge resource for anyone who is interested, and you can subscribe to our Medium blog as well. It's also the links also in the chat for you to join. And so remember what I said earlier, that this is all of this happens inside the network, the DPO Africa Network. And so every last Monday of the month, we gather as a community, we connect and we brainstorm, we collaborate, right? I said it's not a lecture, we collaborate. So it's what we do in practice. So if during the week, you've encountered some issues at work, it is a perfect place for you to say, my fellow data protection practitioners, what do you think? Have you come across something like this before? How did you do it? Do you have something for me? Or is there another way to go about it? So it is a hub of resources and collaboration, and I strongly, strongly encourage you to do so. And you can also register to be a part of the network. The link to join is also in the chat box. So we've made everything easy and simple for you. All you have to do is just click on the link, and it takes you directly to either the YouTube channel, the WhatsApp channel, the blog, or the network itself. So here is our simple ask for this webinar: is help us widen the circle and share this platform with your colleagues, your peers, or students, who might be curious, because every voice, your voice in particular, helps us to design better. And we also bring you more value laden events and programs as time goes on. We also have, I know many of us are quite curious about the IAPP certifications, and I know there are a lot of money. Yes, they are expensive. Solomon mentioned that he had spent about 3 million naira in these certifications, and I know how expensive they can be. And so DPO Africa Network, in collaboration with TechHive, has prepared something fantastic for us, where prices are slashed and you get value, because if you are paying, directly to the IAPP, is a lot more money rather, and you get a training, right? So you just get to write the exam to get certification. But if you're going to get training, right, the Tech Hive is offering that for you. And so I'll just call on Precious quickly to give us a little more information about the price slash for the IAPP certification. So Precious, please, you have the stage.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Laura, for that. Okay, so now I can't see the screen. Okay, give me a moment. So at TechHive Advisory, basically, we are a training partner with the IAPP. Oh, awesome. I see it now. We're a training partner with the IAPP. So we offer IAPP certification, CIPP, CIPM, CIPP US, AIGP, CIPT. I think you can move to now I can't see the screen anymore. Okay, I'll just speak. So what we do is that what we are offering is typically because we're a training partner with the IAPP, our prices or our fees for the IAPP trainings are very subsidized. Please, next slide, next slide, please. Our fees are subsidized, right? So, but before we get there, I'll just do a rundown of what the different trainings, what it offers. I can't see the screen. Anyway, okay, so the CIPPE, you're going to be learning about data protection laws in Europe, from the history to what is personal data, the role, the different roles under data protection and all of that, to supervisory authority and all of that. We have for other jurisdictions, for Canada, for US, and all of that. If you're interested in that, we offer that. We also offer the CIPM. This is the Certified Information Privacy Manager. This is a notch higher than the laws. So here it teaches you on how to, having known the data protection laws, how do you need to implement those laws or operationalize those laws, right, into an organization, or manage a privacy program. That's basically what the CIPM training is about. Then the CIPT, if you have a technical background, right, you want to be able to transpose the data protection laws or the obligations under data protection into technology tools like privacy enhancing technologies and all of that. The CIPT is for you. So if you're in information security, IT, and you want to have knowledge about how to apply data protection in your actual work, the CIPT is for you. Then AIGP is for AI governance training or certification, right? It helps you understand how to merge or how to bring in AI governance principles into your organization and ensure holistic compliance, data protection, and AI governance compliance. Now for the fees. So our fees generally they cost $650 for the CIPP, CIPM. The CIPT and AIGP costs $750 normally. However, based on our arrangement or a collaboration with DPO Africa, we are going to be offering a discount for members of this association. My slide is not moving. and this is not for me, it's for participants so they can see the screen. Or is it me? Awesome. Thank you. All right. So we're offering a discount, and the discount is this: instead of paying $650, you get to pay $625 for the CIPPE, CIPM training, and for the CIPT, you get to pay $725 as opposed to $750. Now, remember when I was talking earlier, I mentioned if you go directly to the IAPP, this is what it will cost you if you go directly to the IAPP. You pay for only exam, and that costs you like $550. If it's AIGP, it costs you $799. That's excluding membership fee, right? So membership fee, additional $295. Training, another additional $1,199. So this is the total cost for you if you're going directly to the IPP. But with our collaboration and partnership, we get to give you the exam voucher, membership, 1 year membership, 3 days training, and all the training material. So the textbook, the practice questions for the exam, and all of that. You get all of that for $625 or $725, depending on the certification that you're going for. Now, this discount is available for just 1 month. So if you're going to take this discount, chop chop, the time has started ticking, right? So you can use this discount code. How this works is that you send us an email. You send us an email at training@techhiveadvisory.org.ng using this discount code, and then we will verify that you are a member of the DPO Africa Network, and then we will generate a specific code for you that will enable you pay. Now for payments, a payment option, you can either use Choice or Stripe. For Choice, if you're using Choice, it means like maybe you're going to the bank, you're making bank transfers and all of that. And for that, it will cost you the same amount, $625. However, if you're using the Stripe platform, there is an added fee. There is a processing fee, and the processing fee is an additional $25. However, we have further subsidized that. You will not be bearing the entire cost of the processing fee. So instead of paying $625, you will be paying $633. That is an additional $8 for processing fee, while we bear the remaining $19. So this is just to ensure that the cost doesn't become steep for members of the network who would want to take advantage of this opportunity. So I don't know, I hope I'm not missing anything, but this is pretty much it. Yes, thank you very much.
Precious. Just to reiterate an important information for what she said you need to join us for you to be able to use the discount code. So if you are not a member of the network, you're going to pay $2,000+. But if you're a member of the network, see the huge discount you're getting. You're only paying about 700 or 600, depending on what it is, the certification you are taking. So thank you very much to TechHive. And remember, the discount is #DPOAN0001 to use the discount that you've been provided with. So I've checked the chat, but I haven't seen any question. Is either we don't have any questions for today, or we are all such geniuses that we've grabbed, we have a grasp of everything that has been said here today. Okay, I do not see any questions, but that's not a problem. I want to assume that everyone has joined the network. You've subscribed to our YouTube channel, and you've subscribed to our WhatsApp channel as well, or Medium blog as well. So you can send whatever question that you have. If we're able to answer them here, we'll definitely answer it, through any of those channels. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at DPO Africa Network. And for our panel discussants as well. I would like to thank Precious. Thank you, Solomon, as well, Patricia and Innocent, for taking out time to educate us today. It was lovely to hear from all of you. These people are experts in what they do. And so you can also check them out on LinkedIn and follow them as well. And thank you very much to the DPO Africa Network for bringing this together. And you've consistently, given us fantastic events and programs. And so we want to, say thank you to everyone who has taken out time to be here. We appreciate your commitment to your growth, because when you do well, it is a good thing for us, and we'll be proud to showcase you. And if I'm sure you must have seen it, our last, not maybe not the last one, but one of our recent posts was the post about members of the network who just got the certification, the CIPP certification, which I was one of them, and I cannot say how much this network helped me in achieving that. And so this is a chance for you as well. You see, you get to get a discount, you have study groups, you have the support, and you have a wide network of people you can ask for whatever thing, whether pertaining to the certifications or to your work as a data protection practitioner. So we are very excited to have you all on board with us. We need new faces and new perspectives, and we cannot wait to have you. So once again, thank you everyone for coming on the Data Protection in Practice webinar today, and we look forward to having you and your friends whom you've invited join us at the next Data Protection in Practice webinar. We'll send out information about that. So thank you once again, everyone, for coming. It was a good time with every one of us. Please drop your LinkedIn URL so that we can connect with one another. We don't want this to end here. So we need to continue, you don't know when next you are going to see me or where I'm going to see you. And I want to say, I met you somewhere. I met you through the data protection network, and then we connect, because that's the essence of all of this, right? So we cannot wait to have you all on board. And we wish you a fantastic week and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you once again, and thank you to the network for putting this together. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye.